Summer was quickly upon us, like a speeding train passing through time. The smell in the air was thick, with the aroma, people barbecuing on their grills. It was the 4th of July, and I just finished watching the hot dog eating contest at Coney Island. I had a pack of hot dogs that I wanted to cook. Unfortunately, the gas tank on my grill was completely empty. I knew that hot dogs tasted so much better when they were cooked on the grill. I knew I had several portable stoves in my backpack. I pulled out my backpacking gear. This time, I would use my Firebox Stove. The Firebox Stove is a portable unit that folds completely flat, and it weighs about 2 pounds. I used it many times because of its simplicity and its ability to use multiple combustibles to cook with. The stove was set up in a matter of seconds, and I was ready to start a fire so I could cook. This time, I would be using some twigs from a tree and a few pieces of charcoal. I stuffed the firebox with the dry twigs that I found in my backyard. Because they were dry, they snapped in two like a cheap toothpick. I continued to stuff it with more twigs. Then to top it off, I would put a piece of dryer lint. I quickly pulled out my multi-purpose tool and was ready to pull out my flint stick with anticipation of starting the fire. I positioned the flint, and with a couple of quick strikes of the flint stick, sparks were dancing across the dryer lint. In a New York second, the fire was started. It's amazing how quickly dryer lint can catch on fire. The fire quickly burned. I just waited for it to die down a little bit. I knew that it would be soon that the dancing flames would be tickling my hot dogs. It's amazing the heat that this tiny stove can generate with such a small fire. Now that the fire was started, I dropped a couple of pieces of charcoal into the fire. I knew that my fire would be good for several minutes, certainly long enough to cook a few hot dogs. The charcoal quickly burst into flames. The flames danced around within the box, but they were nicely contained like a fish in a bowl. It was almost time to start cooking. I attached the supporting rails that came with the Firebox stove. I knew the rails would be very helpful in supporting the hot dogs. Once attached, I positioned 3 hot dogs on a fork and laid them down on the supporting rails. Now, it would just be a matter of minutes for the hot dogs to cook. I could hear the sizzling sounds. The heat was working to bring out the flavors. Ah, nothing better than a hot dog cooked over an open flame. After a short time, the hot dogs were ready to be flipped over. As I flipped them over, I noticed the nice char marks on the cook's side. Looking good. And a few minutes later, it will now be time for me to enjoy my hot dogs. I hope you enjoy your summer. Happy grilling, thanks to the Firebox stove. Stay safe, and may God bless.